What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can scrape influencers from Instagram and send them an outreach email asking them for a collaboration by creating a simple automation on make.com. So let's get started. To scrape influencers, I'm going to use this tool called Apify. Apify is an incredible tool that you can use to scrape any website and automate projects. So create an account on Apify, and after creating an account on Apify, head over to Apify store. Here we're going to search for the website that we'd like to scrape. In our case, we'd like to scrape Instagram, so I'm going to search for Instagram. And then here we're going to click on search. You can see we have almost 200 tools that we can use to perform an action on Instagram. So here we can scrape comments on a post, we can scrape posts, hashtag reels, Instagram profiles, stories, download videos, scrape followers, and all these other actions that we can take on Instagram. Since we would like to send our influencers an outreach email, we can choose a tool that scrapes their emails. So here I'll search for Instagram email scraper. You can see we have 70 tools right here that we can use to scrape emails from Instagram profiles. So here we can use any of these tools to scrape influencers with emails. So here I'll use this tool right here and open it on a new tab. This is a tool that we're going to use to scrape influencers. Here we're going to add a search keyword so we can scrape their profile and their email. Here we're going to add the maximum number of influencers that you would like to scrape. For example, we can scrape only 5 influencers. And how to scrape our influencers from Instagram together with their emails. I'll click on start. Here you can see that our tool is running. Here, our tool succeeded in scraping 5 influencers with their email addresses from Instagram. So here you can see we're getting the email addresses right here. The keyword was the fashion influencer. Here we're getting their bio over here, their title, which could be their name and their username. We're also getting their URL to their page over here. To automate this process, we can create a simple automation that does that for us on Make. So on Make, I've created a scenario that I've renamed to Influencer Outreach Automation. Since we like to scrape influencers using Apify, here I'm going to search for Apify, click on Apify, and here I'll click on Run an Action module. Here you'll need to create a connection between your Apify account and Make by clicking on Add right here and choosing a connection type. I'll choose the Apify API token. Here you can rename your connection and add API token right here from Apify. To get your API token on Apify, click on Settings, then click on API and Integrations. Here you're going to find your API right here. You can choose to create a new one right here, give it a name, then click on Create, and then copy the API token and come and paste it right here and click on Save to create your connection. Since I had already created my connection, I'm going to close and choose my connection right here. Here we're going to choose our tool, which is the Instagram email scraper tool from Easy API right here. It is this tool over here. Here we're going to choose to run synchronously, and here we'll input our JSON. To get our JSON on our tool, which says manual and JSON, click on JSON. Here we're going to copy our JSON, so copy it. But before we add it right here, we'll need to format our JSON using a JSON formatter tool. I'm going to use this tool to format our JSON, paste our JSON right here. And to format it, I'm going to click on Process. And then here, I'll copy our formatted JSON, paste it right here. And then here, I'm going to click on Save. Here, I'll rename our module to Instagram email scraper, then click on OK. After we've scraped our influencers' email using this module, we'll get our influencers and the information using this module right here. So on Apify, I'm going to click on the Get Dataset Item module. Here we'll add our dataset ID. It's going to be the default dataset ID right here. You can increase the limit over here. Click on Save. I'll rename this to Get Scraped Emails. And click on OK. To scrape our influencers with their emails on Make, I'm going to click on Run Once. You can see the automation ran successfully. Here we succeeded in scraping fashion influencers on Instagram. And on the Get Scraped module, we're getting our influencers right here with the information. So the keyword is fashion influencers. Here's their email address. Here's their username. Here's the URL to their page. And here's their bio over here. And we're getting each and every single detail of each of our influencers over here. Now, after we've scraped their email addresses and the information, we can proceed to add them to a Google Sheet. So on Google Sheet, I've created a spreadsheet that I've renamed to scraping sheet. Named to Instagram influencers is where we're going to add our influencers with information. So here we're going to add their username, email address, their bio. We're also going to write an outreach first line that we're going to add to our outreach email campaign. We're also adding the Instagram page link over here. To add our influencers information over here, on Make, I'm going to search for Google Sheets, then click on Add a Raw Module. Here, we're going to search for a spreadsheet. For the sheet name, I'm going to choose this Instagram influencers sheet. And here we're going to add values to our columns on our spreadsheet with the data that we scraped on Apify. So for the title, we're going to add the username over here. The email address, we're going to add the email. For their bio, we're going to add their text. Outreach first lines, we're going to generate those first lines using AI and update the first lines after we generated them later on in the automation. Then here we're going to add their page URL right here. And then here I'm going to click on save. I rename this to Instagram influencers. And then click on OK. Now to scrape our Instagram influencers, get their emails and add them to our spreadsheet, I'm going to run automation. You can see that automation ran successfully. We succeeded in scraping 5 fashion influencers on Instagram. And here we got the information right here, called their profile information and the email address. Then we're adding our influencers with their email addresses on our spreadsheet. So on our spreadsheet, you can see we added our influencers right here. So we added the username, the email addresses, their bio. We are now adding the outreach first lines for now. But after we generate our first lines, we're going to update this column right here. Then lastly, we're adding the Instagram profiles right here. After adding our influencers to our spreadsheet, we can go ahead and generate first lines using their bio. So we can add the influencers on an outreach campaign on Lemlist. So to generate our influencers first lines from their bio, we're going to use this tool called Gemini. So I'll search for Google Gemini and click on Create a Completion. You'll need to create a connection between your Gemini account and Make by clicking on Add, then add your API key over here. To get your API key, just open this link on a new tab, and then you're going to get your API key and add it over here to create your connection. Here we're going to choose our AI model. I'm going to choose the latest model right here, which is Gemini 2.0. This is the latest model currently. And then here we're going to choose a role. I'm going to choose the model role. And then here we're going to choose the message type as text. And then here we're going to add prompt for model role. Role could be in the lines of you're an intelligent writing assistant. Here we're going to choose a user role. And here I'm going to choose message type as text. And add the prompt for the user role over here. The prompt for the user role could be in the lines of generate a compelling, highly personalized first line for a cold email based on the influencer's Instagram bio. Here we're going to add the input. The first input will be the Instagram bio. So this is a bio that we're scraping and getting it on Apify. We're telling this tool to mention a specific recent post or story. And here we're also outlining requirements for the first line. We're telling the tool to write an engaging and intriguing first line. The line should immediately capture the influencer's attention. It must reflect specific details from their bio, such as their niche, passion, achievements, or unique style. The line should acknowledge their work in a way that feels natural and authentic. Avoid generic phrases. The line should also be conversational and unsalesy. The goal is to spark interest and encourage them to keep reading. The output would like only to output the first line of the email. No explanations, no extra text, just the opening sentence incorporating relevant details naturally. And here I'm going to click on Save. Yeah, I'll rename this to Generate First Lines stroke icebreaker. On our spreadsheet, we can delete these records. We have to generate a first line. We're going to leave these for formatting purposes. And now to scrape influencers from Instagram, get their details right here, including their email addresses, and add the influencers and the email addresses on our spreadsheet, and generate first lines. I'm going to run automation. To run it, I'm going to click on Run Once. You can see that automation ran successfully. Here we succeeded in scraping fashion influencers on Instagram. Then we got their details right here, including the email addresses and their profile information. And then we added them on our spreadsheet and generated incredible first lines for them using Gemini. Here you can see we generated 5 incredible first lines for our influencers. So these are the 5 first lines that we generated using our tool. The first one is Katya. As a fellow New Yorker, based fashion enthusiast and mom, I'm loving your hashtag fashion mom style. It's an incredible and a well personalized first we can add to our outreach email campaign. The second first line that you generated for us is Alex, your aesthetic mood is seriously infectious. Especially love the vibe you cultivate on Telegram. Very personalized first line. The third one is on the lines of seeing your ageism fighter pose made me think we share a passion for disrupting outdated norms. Very personalized first line. The fourth one is Jerry, your blend of Dallas lifestyle and accessible political takes with plain English politics is seriously impressive. Very personalized first line. And the last one that is generated for us is on the lines of Aliana, your blend of Peruvian and African American heritage shines so beautifully through your Nova Kids and Shane partnerships. It's a very personalized first line. Now that our automation is generating for us incredible first lines, we can go ahead and add the first lines to our spreadsheet. So here on Google Sheet, I'll click on Update a Row module. Here I'm going to choose our spreadsheet and our sheet name, which is Instagram influencers over here. We're going to add our row number. And the column that we like to update is the first lines column. We're going to add our results that we generated over here. And then here I'm going to click on save. And then here I'll rename this to first lines stroke icebreaker. And then here I'm going to click on OK. On our spreadsheet, we can delete these records right here. Delete them. And then we can run automation again to add our first lines to our spreadsheet. So here I'll run automation. See that automation ran successfully. Scraped our influencers, scraped the information in their profile, and then added them to a Google spreadsheet. Also generated 5 incredible first lines for them using their bio. And then we added the first lines to our spreadsheet. Here you can see the incredible first lines that we generated for each of our influencers over here. Very personalized first lines. Here, Jessica, your commitment to beauty, fashion, and faith-based content truly shines through. Very personalized first line. It's also including their name over here, which is incredible. Here, to send our influencers outreach emails, I'm going to use this tool called Lemlist. So here, I'll search for Lemlist. Click on Lemlist. Here, we're going to add our leads, which are our influencers, to a campaign that we'll have created on Lemlist. Here, you'll also need to create your connection between your Lemlist and Make.com account by clicking on Add, then from Lemlist, add your API key right here. To get your API key, click on Integrations, then click on Generate. And then here, you'll generate a new API key. You'll name your key, and then click on Create to generate your API key. Copy it. Come and paste your API key right here and click on Save to create your connection. After creating your connection, you're going to choose our campaign. We'll have created on Lemlist. This is our campaign right here. Here we're going to add our influencers' email addresses. The email address, we're getting the email address from Apify. We're getting the first and last name. We're going to leave it as empty. We don't have their company name, their job title, LinkedIn URL, picture, or their phone number. We don't even have their website, but we've generated an icebreaker. So here we're going to add our icebreakers over here, and then click on Save. I'll rename this to Outreach Campaign, and then click on OK. And scrape our influencers, generate first lines for them, and add the emails and their first line to our outreach campaign. I'll click on Run once. You can see that automation ran successfully. Here we succeeded in scraping fashion influencers from Instagram. Then we got their information right here, including the email addresses, and then we added their profile information and their emails to our spreadsheet. And then we generated a first line for the outreach campaign from their bio, and then added the first line to our spreadsheet. And then on Lemlist, we added the email address and the first line that we generated on Gemini. You can see we added our influencers right here with the first line that we generated right here. On Lemlist, you can see we added our leads over here. Here are the email addresses. Here's the icebreaker that we generated using Gemini. You'll first of all need to create an email sequence over here. So these are the cold email scripts that we're going to send to our influencers. To add our personalized first line to our scripts, all you have to do is add 2 semicolons right here, and then choose the icebreaker over here. And these will include our icebreaker that we generated on automation over here. You can also add as many follow-up emails as you want. So these are quick follow-up email that we're sending one day later. And then here, these are our leads that we just added on our Lemlist. Now to launch this campaign, I'll click on launch and see our emails are well formatted. You can see even they're very personalized. So we are calling our lead by their name right here. 1 day later, we're going to send them this follow-up email. So for each of our lead, we're sending them the personalized first line right here. Jenna, your God crap for less tagline immediately caught my eye. I'm always on the hunt for elevated style without breaking the bank. Seeing you fight against ageism in the fashion world and how boldly you champion it made me want to reach out. That's an incredible first line. So we can delete this other line over here. You can just leave it as is. Then when you click on launch, so click on save changes. Now you can see it's a well formatted email. We removed this line over here. So now the outreach emails are well formatted over here. You can see for all the 5 influencers, we got a well formatted email. To launch the campaign, all you have to do is on Lemlist, confirm if everything looks perfect on each and every single lead over here. And if everything looks perfect, all you have to do now is click on launch for 5 leads over here. You can also choose to schedule the launch over here. You can and then you can schedule the launch of his emails. Now when you click on launch for 5 leads, since I'm not looking to send cold emails to these leads, you'll choose the intervals that you like to send the email. So the first email, after you've sent the first email, you can wait 30 minutes to send the second email, wait another 30 minutes to send the third email, and so on and so forth. And this automation that we created on Make. On this module, you can see we're hard coding our keyword and our maximum results over here. Now, if you're not interested in hard coding our influencers, I've created another sheet that I've renamed to influencers. And here, we're going to add the influencers that would like to scrape their profile information and their emails. We're also going to add a number of the influencers that would like to scrape. And then on Make, on Google Sheet, I'm going to click on Watch New Rows module. We're going to use this as our trigger right here. Connect it over here. Here, we're going to set up our module by choosing our spreadsheet right here. Our spreadsheet is called Scraping Sheet. I'm going to choose our sheet name, which will be the influencers sheet. Here, our table contains headers. You can limit this to, let's say, 1. And then I'm going to click on Save. And we can choose to manually. And for example, here we can choose to scrape, let's say, beauty influencers. The total of them is 5. And we can run this module only and see if we're going to get our influencers. You can see we're getting our influencers that would like to scrape their profile information and their emails, and the number of influencers that would like to scrape and send them outreach emails. So here on this module, instead of hard coding our influencers, we can add them from our spreadsheet over here. So the maximum results, we can add it from our spreadsheet over here. Click on Save. And now to scrape our influencers without hard coding them over here, we're going to choose where to start on this module. You can choose manually. So after you've added them to a spreadsheet over here, on automation, you'll come over here and choose the influencer that you like to scrape. For example, you can choose to scrape beauty influencers. Then click on Save. Here, we're going to scrape their information on Instagram, get their email addresses and the information, and then add them to a spreadsheet, generate first line for them, update the spreadsheet with their first line, and then add the email address and their first lines to our outreach campaign on Lemlist. Now to test automation, I'll click on Run Once. You can see that automation ran successfully. We scraped beauty influencers from Instagram. Then we got the email addresses over here. We got a total of 7 influencers over here with the email addresses. Then we added them to our spreadsheet. Then we generated 7 incredible first lines for each of our beauty influencers here. You can see all these incredibly personalized first lines over here. Then we updated our spreadsheet with the 7 first lines that we generated using Gemini. Then we added their email addresses and their first lines on our campaign on Lemlist. So you can see we added 7 more influencers over here. These are beauty influencers over here. You can see these personalized first lines that we generated over here. These are incredibly personalized first lines over here. This is awesome. Then on Lemlist, we added their email addresses and the first line that we generated using Gemini. You can see we added an additional 7 leads over here. So here the username, the email addresses, and the first line that we generated using Gemini over here. To launch this campaign, just click on Launch over here. You can see we're adding personalized first lines to each and every single influencer that we scraped using automation over here. So now to launch this campaign, all you have to do is just click on Launch for the 12 leads. We'll start sending our influencers outreach emails asking them for a collaboration. And we did that by creating this simple automation over here. Here, I rename this to influencers, then click on OK. So here we're getting our influencers that we like to scrape, the number of influencers that we like to scrape, scraping the email addresses and their profile information. And we're getting their profile information and the email addresses on this module, then adding their profile information and the email addresses to a spreadsheet. Right here, similar to this one here, where we're adding the title, email addresses, the bio, and the link to their page. We're also using their bio to generate a personalized first line. Then we're adding the personalized first line to a spreadsheet. So this is an example first line that we're generating using Gemini. Then on Lemlist, we're adding the email addresses and the personalized first line to launch an outreach campaign to these influencers right here. If you have an automation or a system in mind that you'd like for me to create using make.com, just comment down below in the comment section. And if I land on your comment and I find it intriguing, I'll come back on a future video showing you how to create the entire system or automation from scratch using make.com. But for now, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.